Welcome everyone to DLA. David Lombardino here. Today I have the pleasure to be speaking with Brian Fielkow. Brian is CEO of JETCO Delivery. He is also a writer, speaker, and consultant. Today he's going to be talking about using DLA for their editing services. Brian, how are you today?
I'm doing great, David. Very well. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. And thank you for joining us today. How about you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to DLA?
Well, sure. David, since 2006, I've had the privilege to be affiliated with JETCO Delivery. I bought the company in '06, sold it actually in 2019, but I'm still very involved with JETCO. I came to DLA, I'm going to say 10 years ago, because we were doing a lot of work communicating with clients. We were developing a very defined niche in the market as a thought leader. Thought leadership is a very core component of our value proposition. And we're producing a lot of content, and the content may have made sense to me. It may have made sense to some of the people in my company, but I needed to be sure that it was as good as it could be and that it made sense to our audience. So we found DLA and we've been working with DLA ever since to make sure that what we put out is first class.
Awesome. And so you mentioned taking over JETCO in 2006. So JETCO Delivery was a business already in existence. You come and you start with it in 2006. What did you have a particular vision for JETCO, or kind of what was your what path did you see for yourself and for JETCO when you first came on board then?
Well, I mean, back in 2006, I never could have envisioned, where the company is today and how it's grown. Back in '06, I was looking for a company to buy. I had some criteria. I wanted it to be a size where, I could own the vast majority of the company. So it had to sort of be, in a little bit smaller niche. I wanted something that was not broken, and, it wasn't like a turnaround situation. And after months of searching, I found JETCO, the owners of the company. By the way, one of the owners still works with us, so that's the longest 6-month consulting agreement in history. But the owners of the company were very clear that they knew they needed to double down on their investment or sell. They made a decision that it was time to sell, but the company was healthy. It was taking good care of the customers, and I knew that if we could put together a mix of the right people, a newer fleet, and technology, there was a good opportunity. So I knew that, but beyond that, to have to say I started back in '06 with an end goal or a vision in mind, never would have been able to guess.
Yeah, we've mentioned that, for example, company culture is something that's really important to you, and becoming a thought leader is a really big part of kind of your value proposition. With JETCO, like, how did you see, like, what is the company culture? What did you see as needing to be, established, or kind of, I don't know if you understand enough of my question already, but you know, running JETCO is not simply just running a business for you. It's more than that.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you want to build a healthy culture, it's really the convergence of the right people and the right process working in harmony. So I knew when we began our journey, it was a matter of as we grew. I mean, we had great people on day one, right? But that group was never going to be enough to accommodate our growth. So I knew that we needed to bring in the right people, and also make sure that the company was not revolving around any one person. So drafting clear, understandable process, which DLA and I worked together on, was core to establishing the right culture. And again, a company where people knew what to do, how to do it, and had a good level of authority to go get the job done for our customers, safely and professionally.
Yeah, and so on the side of JETCO, you've mentioned that we've helped you with some different types of documents. What would you say are different types of documents we've helped you with? Can you give us examples?
Sure. Well, on the technical side, certainly process manuals and internal communications. We like to think and say in our company that if you're strong on the inside, well, you're unbeatable on the outside. So actually, we've spent a fair amount of time on our internal communications. But then you've worked with us on a number of articles, a number of client communications, so that we're really sharpening up our message, right? I mean, if you think about it, there are so many people out there now with the the democratization of communication. There's so much information out there, and so many people writing that you've got to be better than the rest. You've got to stand out above the crowd, and that's where our partnership over the years with DLA has really worked out so well. As you've helped us create a better product.
Awesome. And so, and in terms of being a thought leader, I mean, you've talked about where we've mentioned writing and speaking. How has kind of your partnership with DLA helped you in that regard? Like, you've been writing articles, you've written books. What has been the result of that? Or if you were to measure the success of those endeavors, so what would you be able to say is a mark of success for those?
Well, for example, we work together. Now this is outside of JETCO, but DLA and I work together, writing both of my books, Driving to Perfection, and then Leading People Safely, which I co-wrote with Jim Schultz. And in both cases, I developed a couple rounds, did a couple of rounds of the drafting myself, and sent it to you to look at for a complete, fresh outside set of eyes. And so, if you measure success by critical acclaim, the books did well, are doing well. If you measure it by the number of speaking engagements or consulting engagements, that business has grown. Really, it's grown as fast as I can have it grow, given that my full time primary position is still with JETCO. So I think you've helped us create both at JETCO and on the consulting business, a persona, a mystique that's done very well in the market. And again, it's because we're putting out a polished product, one that I could never, ever do on my own.
That's awesome. And so, and I believe you mentioned as well that it's kind of the result of establishing that platform and that brand awareness that got you to the position of being able to sell Jetco, right? In 2019.
Yeah, we were fortunate to be able to sell the company to a great organization, the GTI Group, in 2019. And, well, a lot of factors go into whether you're ready to sell and whether a buyer is interested in speaking with you. It's absolutely clear that, presenting and delivering on a professional image is critical. And so, anybody looking at a company, whether it's a buyer, whether it's a prospective new customer, they're going to go on your website. They're going to look at your content, right? And if it looks like it was, amateur written, wasn't well put together, that says something about you. On the other hand, if you look put together, clear, crisp, concise, that also says something, I think, about your professionalism. And again, this is where the collaboration with DLA, whether we're talking about getting new business, retaining existing excellent business, or ultimately, as you mentioned, the sale of our company. I believe that all of those are because of the image that we project, and obviously, the image is one thing, but you've also got to deliver on that, and we do both. And since the sale to GTI, we've worked with DLA just on as normal, right? So it's been uninterrupted by the transaction.
That's awesome. From our end, it's been an absolute pleasure helping you both in terms of being going alongside you as Jetco has grown and achieved the successes it has as a company. I believe that one of the documents we helped you with was a nomination for you as a business leader. I don't know if you got that award or not, but it's been really great to kind of be a partner with you as you've grown with Jetco, and then also in your own endeavors. Um, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to somebody else in your position, what would it be?
When it comes to working with DLA or when it comes to more general?
Uh, how about as you know, if you go back to when before you contacted DLA and kind of thinking about where your business was at that time, JETCO Delivery, um, and kind of the decision of like whether to get outside help or that sort of thing. Um, if there's somebody on the fence about whether getting help from DLA might be useful or beneficial, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I would tell them, first of all, it's not a one-time thing. So if you're on a mission to um, use a thought leader approach to help build your awareness among your market, among your prospects, it's not one and done. So you've got to have the discipline to stay the course. I think one and done, you almost are better off not doing. The other thing is, I mean, I'm in a very natural rhythm with DLA at this point because a lot of the people know me, I know them. But early on, there's going to be a learning curve, like with any new relationship. So the first couple times you go around, you know, um, make sure that you're kind of in that spirit of a learning curve. But then you kind of everybody gets settled in after a little while. So I think discipline, focus, and one more thing: no matter who you would use to edit, still got to be your content. In other words, nobody's going to come and basically take one sentence and turn it into a nice article for you, unless that's a ghostwriter. That's not what we're talking about here. So it's got to be your content, your work, your thought. But then DLA is going to help you really polish it. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to have conversations, especially as you're getting to know each other. That and then again, stay the course. Don't you got to have the discipline to do this. You're not going to hit the lottery the first time out.
Yeah, I think, and you touched on something that I think is really important because from our end, whenever we're getting to know a client for the first time, there's is a feeling out process. I mean, we have obviously our experience and our expertise that we bring to the table, but you may want things a certain way, or we're still getting to know your brand, and so we're not quite sure what your brand voice is just yet, and kind of what works for you and what doesn't. And so for us, yeah, we definitely like getting that feedback from our clients to know, hey, this is what I want, this is not what I want. Give us a better idea of how to produce a better service for you. So, yeah, that's definitely been beneficial on our side. Well, congratulations to you again. And, like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure to be helping you all these years. And we look forward to our continued partnership in the future.
Same here. Thank you very much for inviting me, David, and we look forward to many more years of mutual success.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, Brian. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.